Jonathan, I'm from A now. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's just jump right into it, yeah? You went from working as a yakitori chef and being a basketball league teammate to becoming Eddie Huang's assistant and personal trainer. What has that experience been like? Did you think in your wildest dreams that you'd be playing one of his dream characters?
I got Boogie right before I had actually signed on to work as his assistant. The script was like 125 pages. I read it. I enjoyed it fully. It was the first script I ever got. But I would have never, he joked with me like, I think you should play it. I think you should do it. But never in my wildest dreams that I think that, basketball and meeting a relationship with Eddie would lead to an opportunity to play a lead role in a character.
What kind of parallels are there from your personal life to the character you play, Boogie?
I grew up fourth generation in a house that on me to, be a specific person, be a doctor, be a dentist. There wasn't any pressures. But as far as the basketball portion, the kid couldn't have been as similar to me as ever. I love basketball. I've played since I was two, and the dreams of making the NBA and doing that whole route were definitely prevalent and relevant. But it was the home life was the big switch and the big difference for me as a character.
Given the current social climate, what do you hope viewers take away from watching Boogie?
I hope it's the normalization of the Asian American experience, and for us to kind of, as a group, break away from the stereotypical things that we see Asians in, and just understand that hey, we play basketball, we play sports, we do other things just like everybody else in this world, and I hope that that normalization can begin to happen, and it won't be so bright, and I hope that starts to begin.
Right. Boogie is an intersectional story about immigrants, one that he's always been telling, whether it's selling Baohaus, making mainstream America laugh because he's fresh off the boat. How much of his life story resonates with you?
We're 10 years apart. So, he grew up in Florida, and he grew up as kind of like the only Asian kid. And, me growing up in the Bay Area, pretty diverse area. If anything, mostly maybe predominantly Asian in the area that I grew up in. Kind of grew up in like opposite sectors and opposite situations, but we have so much parallel in our life. We found basketball, we found hip hop, we found kind of streetwear culture, we found the same things. And to us, that was like the most interesting thing, was to just see that we couldn't have been, further apart in our experience growing up, but we got to the same place.
Can you actually point out all of his like lifestyle, fashion, musical influences in this movie? Because there's a ton if you're a '90s kid.
I go through sometimes is like our music references, and like he forgets that I was born in the 90s, and he's like, do you remember in like 85 when this album dropped? I'm like, no, Eddie, I don't. I wasn't alive yet. Like, what are you talking about? And so what I love about him is he introduces so much music and culture to me, that I know the person that sampled the song, but I don't know the original song of things. And so he's been my beacon to be like, look, guy, Wiz Khalifa wasn't the first guy who did this song. This is the guy who did it. And so that's how we kind of get along. And it's kind of like our relationship in a nutshell. It's just him introducing stuff to me, because he is the generation older. But it is 100% his influence, and 100% him in this movie.